Welcome back to the channel, it's Andy. We're back with FM23 and IFK Goteborg, and today we're not going to be playing a game on camera, but we are going to be using this as kind of a recap and also a look at exactly how things are going. So we've got a few bits to get through today. We are in a transfer window, so we'll show you the transfers that we've made so far. We have a draw today for the Conference League round of 16. And after that, we're just going to have a really good assessment of where our squad is, what we need, and that sort of thing. So that's kind of what we're looking at today in terms of the video. So no game on camera today, but still a fair few bits to get through. I took a few days off. I've had a pretty nasty toothache, so I thought it would be the best idea to sort of rest my mouth and not talk so much. So I took a few days just to sort of rest up because it was bothering me for a good couple of days. But we're back today, so hopefully normal service will now be resumed. It's still bothering me a bit, but not nearly as bad as it was, honestly. So last episode we wrapped up the Conference League phase. We defeated Karabag 3-2 in a ridiculous match. We then lost to Fiorentina in Italy, but we got 5 wins out of a possible 6 in our Conference League phase, meaning we finished in 5th place. So we qualified for the round of 16. No need for a knockout playoff round, so that's a really good result for us. 15 points out of 18, and yeah, great to get through to the round of 16. Furthest we've got so far in the European competition. As you can see, Djurgården qualified for the knockout playoff round. We'll see how they did in that draw. They might well be in the round of 16 draw with us. We could even be drawn together. I'm not sure if that's possible or not, but we'll see. Of course, the league season is all wrapped up. We won our title back with a second trophy in 3 seasons. We won the cup this season, so we have confirmed the domestic double. So we'll start off with the draw for the round of 16. And then we'll go into transfer news. So the round of 16 draw, 16 teams in the hat. Mönchengladbach, Real Sociedad, Mura, who we faced in the Conference League, and Djurgården. So Djurgården got through. They got through to the round of 16, which meant that they won their knockout playoff round tie. Who were they against? They were against Sheriff Tiraspol, the Moldovans. A 2-2 draw in Moldova, and then they trounced them 6-1 at home. Simon Walagzic scored 5 goals in the game. He's extremely good. He's very expensive, but Walagzic, with an absolute masterclass, 6-1 the final score. So a fantastic result for them. We're seeded because we finished in the top 8, and we're joined by Brann, Fenerbahce, Hapoel Beersheva, Genk, Mönchengladbach, Nice, and Real Sociedad. So we cannot face any of those teams. Let's have a look at our potential opponents. I'm not sure if we can draw Djurgården or not. If we did, it might not be so bad because it would guarantee one of us through to the quarterfinals and we'd be guaranteed some coefficient points. But at the same time, we both could have a good chance of getting through. We also have Austria Vienna, Red Star Belgrade, Fiorentina, who we've already lost against, OH Leuven, Mura, who we've already faced, St. Gallen, and Sturm Graz, who we've already faced. I mean, let's do the proper draw, shall we? We want to hear the Europa Conference League stuff, don't we? So here we go. A big ceremony. Let's get started. Fear no team. We do not fear any team. But our knockout rounds so far in Europe have not been especially good. We've been in 2 knockout rounds, and both times we've lost to teams which I think we probably could have beaten. We lost to Pogoni, the Polish side. Last time we were in the Conference League, and then last season in the Europa League, we were against Osijek of Croatia, and we also lost that as well. So hopefully we can actually win a knockout tie, because so far we haven't actually done that. So let's go to overview. Let's put the speed up to 3, and let's start the draw. And let's see who we're going to be facing in around the 16. Sturm Graz are the first team out, and we could face them. We already have, but they get Real Sociedad. And next out is Fiorentina. I think the unseeded teams appear to be at home for their first leg. There's Djurgården. Are we going to be able to face them? No, we're not. They get Nice, but that's a very, very tough tie. That's going to be very difficult for them. Mura, we shouldn't have any trouble against, but they have got Brann from Norway. St. Gallen would be a nice team to face. I feel like we can beat them, but we don't get them. They get Fenerbahce. Leuven of Belgium are against Genk. Who's left? It's Beersheva. No, it's not Beersheva. It's Red Star Belgrade. Don't give us Red Star Belgrade. Oh, that's possibly the toughest team in that draw, in that bracket. Austria Vienna get Mönchengladbach. Red Star Belgrade versus IFK Goteborg. That is possibly one of the toughest sides we could have got here. I think getting Fiorentina again would have been bad, but I think Red Star is possibly the toughest team we could have got. Of these 8 teams that were unseeded, I think Red Star may be the strongest team there. Who did they face in the last round? They faced Groningen, the Dutch side, and they scored 5 goals without reply. So I think that's going to be a very, very difficult round of 16 tie. 51,000 seat stadium in Belgrade in Serbia for the first leg. That's going to be a very, very tough round of 16 tie, but we'll do our very best to get through. We've taken some big scalps in this save so far, but Red Star's going to be a huge challenge. That tie is coming up at the beginning of March, so we will do both legs against Red Star next episode. So now on to transfers. We'll start with the players that have left. So Lionel Kasten, the backup goalkeeper, has left at the end of his contract. He was just brought in as a backup goalkeeper from Germany, from like the 4th tier, Alklinik. He didn't play any league games for us, but he played 1 or 2 cup games. That's all he really did. But with Kevin Tapia coming through, I think he's a good understudy for Pontus Dahlberg. So Tapia is going to play sort of here and there. He played both Conference League games last episode. Did show his inexperience a little bit, but I'm confident that he's got the ability to pull out some good performances for us. Sebastian Olsen has also left the club at the end of his contract. He appears to have retired as well. And the other notable departure, Victor Larsson, another defender, has left at the end of his contract. He was brought in as a backup defender. He was homegrown. He cost £250,000. Played a few games for us, but didn't do especially well. So he's left at the end of his contract as well. We have made some other sales, however, including Eman Markovic. The Bosnian left winger has left and gone to Elfsborg for a fee of £1 million. He was an important player for us. He was a good player for us. Played, over 20 games per season. Some appearances from the bench, especially last season. Only 7 starts and 17 appearances from the subs bench. And I thought it made sense to cash in on him. He had 1 year left of his contract. He's 27 years old. So we offered him out and Elfsborg came in. And we got £1 million for him, which I don't think is too bad. I think we could have pushed for a little bit more, but £1 million for him is good. And he's going to another Swedish club as well. So hopefully he will improve Elfsborg that little bit. Ruben Loftus-Cheek's also left the club. He's gone to Kalmar. He was brought in on a free transfer. He was one of the expired contracts that had, pretty high reputation. And we brought him in on a free transfer. He wanted a very small wage. So we got a couple of seasons out of him. He played a handful of games. He got a couple of goals. And now he's gone to Kalmar for £625,000. We also got £230,000 for Samuel Cotto, the Cameroon centre-back's gone to Helsingborgs. We brought him in again just as a backup. He was homegrown as he'd played for Malmo and Olympic in the past, so he's gone to Helsingborgs. So we have trimmed a few players. We are going to be relying, I think, a lot more on our younger players this season, but we are, looking at maybe bringing in some first-team players, and that's where the kind of assessment of the squad's going to come into play a bit later in the video to see where we need to actually improve this team. On to the ins now. When we mentioned last time that Jacob Ondrejka has now joined Goteborg on a permanent deal. He's had a few loan spells with us from Inter Milan. 3 loan spells, including the one that we just had where he got 4 goals and 15 assists in 19 appearances in all competitions. Mental stats. We messed out on him for a bit when he was at Pisa for a loan. We kept loaning him in because he was homegrown and he was a very good player. We have now made the loan permanent with an optional future fee. £3.1 million. It's far and away the most we spent on the player. On a free transfer, we have brought in Jeremy Sarmiento. You might recognise the Ecuadorian currently playing for Brighton and Hove Albion in real life. He is earning almost £10,000 a week, so I think he is our highest earner, but he was available on a free transfer. He was interested in joining, so we have brought him in. He got 7 goals and 6 assists in the league for Brighton last season. So that's pretty good for him. And he's been a free agent and we've now brought him in. And then move on to players that are, 18 years old that are going to come in and hopefully develop and become homegrown after a few years. So we'll start with Osnar Graziani, who is a Colombian. He's 18 years old. Ball winning midfielder, 13 tackling, decent physicals, good balance, fairly aggressive as well, good work rate. £900,000 from Junior in Colombia. Abdul Aziz Sawadogo, a little bit of a hiccup here. He's 19, so I don't think he's going to become homegrown because he won't be 21. But it's a player that I think we can, develop and, hopefully he can be really good for us. He won't be homegrown and he's already got a good current ability. He lacks that ceiling, but he's got some good attributes in there. Again, at right back, decent tackling department, some good mentals, good decision making, good teamwork, good positioning. He has cost £300,000 from Stella Club in the Ivory Coast. Diego Veron was brought in on a free transfer. He's an Argentine centre-back, great in the air, decent jumping reach, 6'1", but still, you know, fairly good defensively, very aggressive. Jivan Lukovic is another player who turned 19 before he joined us, so again, a little bit of a mistake on my half, but he doesn't look too bad at all. Right-sided player, lacks a little bit of speed, but he's got agility, decent passer of the ball, great carrier of the ball as well, good decision-making, so hopefully another good player for the future. £600,000 from Spartak in Serbia. Gleidson Gahara, Brazilian, 18 years of age, came from Gremio. Very, very quick, decent flair, lacking a little bit technically, but hopefully someone that can grow into a great player for us. Fabricio Rosa has also joined us from Gremio. This was one of our more expensive youngster signings, £1.2 million from the Brazilians. He's another right-sided player, can play through the middle as well. Again, lacks that physical ability, but very determined, great technique, not bad dribbling as well. So a couple of players from Brazil there that I'm hoping can do well for us. Lastly, for now, we have Thomas Gunderland. He's a 25-year-old. He's Danish. He is a right-back / midfielder, so essentially the new Dennis Collender. He's not going to be joining us this season unless Juventus want to reloan him again. It's £1.5 million from Viola in Denmark. He's played, you know, a good few league games for them, for the Danes. He's a very well-rounded right-back. Mentally, he's pretty good. Technically, 11s and 12s a bit lower than I'd like, and then physically, it's fairly quick. So that is all the signings so far. We've sent some players out on free transfers and loans as well, which are, you know, players that might develop in the future. Now, I was playing around with the squad planner for a bit, and I can see why everyone hates it. It's an absolute mess. I don't like it, so I won't be using it. Although there's been a lot of news recently about FM24 and FM25, so if you want a video about my thoughts on that, then let me know, because it's exciting times. And for someone that was I'm in an about whether we're going to make videos for FM24. It might have twisted my arm a little bit, you know, carrying over saves, new graphics engine coming up, women's football coming up. You know, it's a big update from the developers. So let's have a really good look at exactly what situation our squad is in. So I've actually made the reserve and under 19 players viewable as well. So starting in goal, Pontus Dahlberg is our first choice goalkeeper. Kevin Tapia, I think is good enough to be a backup. He's 19 years old. He's played a few games for us. He's got great potential. The games he's played for us so far, you know, last couple of Europa Conference League games, he's been a little bit, you know, he's shown his inexperience. But I'm confident in Tapia's ability to step in if Dahlberg's injured. Also, Tapia can play cup games and things like that as well. And we also have players that have great potential as well. Mario Panetta is a goalkeeper that we could look to for the future. Björk Vincent as well. So we're looking good in that department. Looking at left back, Ziad Larkesh has been our best left back this season. Anders Tronsen still performing well. 31 years old though. So how long has he got left on his deal? Tronsen's got a couple of years left on his deal. He'll be 33 by that point though. So I think, yeah, the longer this goes on, the more chance we've got of Larkesh being the starting man. And then behind them as well, Bo van Hoof is a player that played 1 or 2 games last season. He's wanted on loan, but I think we'll keep him around and try and give him some minutes. Looking at right back, I think this is where we really need a great player. So Salvadogo is actually on current ability our best right back apparently. But Hausner has been the main right back. Dennis Colliner was playing there last season and he did well, but he's currently not here. He's back at Juventus. Thomas Gunderlund is our new signing as well. So we have 3 players there, but none of them really stand out for me. We do have great potential as well in Michael van Duyn, Veron. Robson Lewis Pereira played some games last season. He got an assist in a couple of games as well, I think. So we've got some great potential in there. But I think we need a player that's going to be, you know, a real standout right back. And I haven't been able to find one so far. Looking at centre-back, Fredrik Nissen is still here. He was wanted by Juventus and by Inter Milan. We've rejected bid after bid after bid. And so far, Nissen hasn't actually complained, which is good. Johan Bangsbo's been playing alongside him most of the season. We've got 2 young centre-backs, one's 24, one's 21. Kalle Johansson's also played some games. He's 32 years old now. How long has Johansson got left? Johansson is on the last year of his deal. And at 32, he might be one of the players to go in the summer. Hausner's capable of playing centre-back and left-back. And he's 26, so he's still got plenty of time with us. Zagala, just 19 years old. I'm excited to see what happens with Jaime Zagala. He's got great jumping reach and he's 6'6". His heading isn't that good though, but decent tackler of the ball, very brave, very determined. Strength is increasing as well, it's improving, so Zagala's going to play some games this season, definitely. And then we've got players like Eri and Graziani. Pereira can play centre-back as well. Max Dyson, Ronald Ronaldo. We've got some great potential here, and hopefully some of these players will develop into really good players for us. Let's look at the midfield. So we have, of course, that advanced playmaker that we play, and we have the ball-winning midfielder. Of course, no Colander this season anymore. Fredrik Nissen's able to play there, as is Zagala. Manas Kuzu is our first choice, really. He's pretty good. We've got Gundogan that can play there. We've got Carlen, who played a few games. He's 26. He's decent. He's got a couple of years left on his contract, so I think he'll still be here for a while to come as well, and he's homegrown. Ronaldo, Fiaschini, we've got great potential there. And looking at the advanced playmaker option, no Loftus-Cheek this season, but we do still have Elias Hagen, who's been a really solid player for us. Melvin Berg can play there. We've got Eric Alström that can play there as well. Tronsen can play as a midfielder, so that's not too bad. And then we go into the attacking areas. We'll start on the left. We have Ondrejka now permanently, but we have no Eman Markovic. Milad Diani has been a bit of an underwhelming signing for us. Sarmiento is on a free, so that's a new signing. We can play Peñalosa out there, but I think he's better on the right-hand side. And then we've got Glahara, we've got Lukovic, Salvatierra, Nadir Jenovic, I think is going to be going on loan. On the right-hand side, Melvin Berg will continue to play, you know, games here and there. We've got Peñalosa. Apart from that, Ondrejka can play there as well. But we might need a player for the right-hand side, maybe even for the left as well. One that can play either or one of each. And then going forward, I think we're still pretty set. So Ondrejka can play centre forward, but he'll play it on the left. Olivier was fantastic last season. Abdullahi was very good. Kulikov scored goals, but he did underperform slightly in the league. And we have Sergio Sanchez. We have Mathieu, the South African, who scored in the debut. Gustav Nilsson as that target man alternative option up front as well. Sakadi, Ahmad Holmes got great potential still. So I think we've gone about it the right way in terms of signing these high potential 18-year-olds. But in terms of how the first team looks at the moment, I think the areas that we need to improve are definitely right back. And I think at the very least, a right-sided player, but maybe one that can also play on the left. So I think this right-hand side is where we need to improve. I think everywhere else is pretty good, and we've still got a bit of time in the transfer window, but I think we need to go out and find a really good right back, maybe even if it's on loan, and then a really good right-sided player again. If it's on loan, I don't really mind. If they're homegrown, even better. But we'll see what's available out there. I'm going to continue to try asking for Colander back on loan. He was a good player for us. Attribute-wise, he doesn't quite cut the mustard, but he played well for us. He's got great stamina. Like, physically, he's pretty good. And then, you know, the other attributes, they're fine. They're okay. But he was a solid player for us last season, so I do want to try and get him back again. But every time we offer him a loan, they want him to be tested in a different environment, so they don't actually want to loan him to us. But we'll keep trying. So that is his sit rep at the moment. We have our Conference League round of 16 tie against Red Star. We'll be playing both legs next episode. We do know who we're facing in the league first up. It's Sirius, and we've got Malmo in our third game of the season. So hopefully we can beat them, because they've beaten us 6 times in a row in the league, and I'm fed up of it. How did they do in the Champions League, by the way? Because Malmo, I think, got through the league phase, did they not? No, they didn't. They just missed out by a couple of points. So Malmo are out of the Champions League, unfortunately. They got a couple of wins, beating Salzburg 6-4 and beating Ostrava. They did manage to get a draw at home against Bayern, but they did lose 5 games. They lost to PSG and Dortmund, shipping 7 and not scoring. So Malmo just missing out on the top 24 by a couple of points. So they are out of Europe, unfortunately. But we do have 2 Swedish sides in the round of 16 of the Conference League, in the form of ourselves and Djurgårdens, who I think are against Nice. That's going to be a tough game for them, and we have a very tough game as well against Red Star Belgrade. We'll do our best to get through, and that will be next episode. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you for watching. No game today, but hopefully you still enjoyed the video. A real look at our squad and exactly where we are. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, leave comments, and subscribe if you haven't, or if you're new. Turn notifications on. Check out the second channel down below. And yes, next episode, Conference League, round of 16, Red Star Belgrade. Can we get the result? I think it's going to be a tough game. I think we'll be underdogs, but fingers crossed we can beat the Serbs. We'll wait and see. But for now, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.